Okay, so for the past 20 years, the Toyota Innova has made its name as a people carrier that is dependable, spacious, relatively economical to buy and to run. What you're looking at here is the third generation model called the Innova Zenix. And Toyota has revamped the formula underneath by quite a bit. For starters, it's no longer quite so economical to buy anymore. This hybrid model that you see here costs over 200,000 ringgit. The base 2-liter model, 160,000 ringgit. So certainly this guy has moved upmarket. But of course, budget is still your concern. The previous gen Innova is still available at their existing prices. So the question is, what has happened to the Innova that has caused such a substantial jump in its pricing? Has it moved that much upmarket? Now, the Innova's basic formula of being a 3-row MPV has not changed. But what has changed is the way Toyota delivers the package. If you notice from the overall proportions, something is not quite the same as before. And the reason being is that first two generations of the Innova were based on a leather frame platform shared with the Hilux. This guy here sits on Toyota's TNGA platform that is shared with its passenger cars. Now, when we hear TNGA platform, the enthusiasts among us will be thinking, oh, okay, rear double wishbones. Sorry to break your hearts, the Innova Zenix here uses a rear torsion beam like the Corolla Cross. You want an MPV with rear double wishbones, you gotta go for the Alphard or the Wellfire. So looking at the side view of the Innova Zenix, you notice that on the door panels, there's a bit more design flair going on, more curvaceous character lines on the body. And of course, also proportions-wise and styling cues also try to give this new Innova Zenix here a bit more of an SUV look. Now, what I'm going to say here may surprise you a little, but I've always found the Innovas to be relatively pleasant-looking vehicles. They are not great, but they are inoffensive. And this is entirely in keeping with the theme that these are vehicles that are meant to blend seamlessly into the crowd. So Toyota has been very sensible in the way they style the Innova to be safe, to be conventional, to be inoffensive. This guy here, well, pretty much despite the all-new platform underneath, follows the same styling convention. There is no styling line gone wrong or anything like that. It's just an easy vehicle to look at. Doesn't quite grab your eyes, but, well, doesn't offend either. So, now that this is a 200,000 ringgit MPV, it's naturally got a few new tricks under its sleeves. Powered tailgate to start with. Okay, so with the third row seats down, there's plenty of space available for your cargo, more than 500 liters. And well, for accessory, you have this little waterproof tray here in case when you go for your groceries, you've got wet items you can put here. This can be removed to wash. Underneath here is a hidden compartment which you can, well, stow away some of your valuable items away from prying eyes. All right, and of course the folding up of the third row is a relatively simple process. You can pull it up this way. All right, this to give it extra lean. If you want to drop it, pop, down. Okay, now a particularly clever feature that I appreciate is how there's this slot here for you to stow away this headrest that is meant for the third row. All right. So even with the third row deployed, right, there's still pretty good, almost 300 liters of space here, more than enough to ferry your groceries. Now let's just see how much we can lean this back. Wow, quite far back you can lean this. Right, let's go check out the inside. So now the hybrid model here exclusively gets these two individual captain seats for the middle row. And access to the back, you can either use this walkway here or just a one-touch mechanism. Move the seats and to the back we go. So here at the back, I'm 170 centimeters tall and well, let me just bring up the headrest a bit. So can lounge here at the back lah. I think this would be covered by the tailgate. So here, my head will be touching the tailgate and there's not enough space to cross my legs. But if the front passenger perhaps will be more considerate, that would liberate a little bit more leg room. But overall, not too claustrophobic here at the back. And the lean angle, of course, is fantastic. So on a long distance journey, you can really lounge it here at the back seat. In terms of facilities for this row, you have 12-volt socket, cup holder here, and also a tray, a storage tray to drop your things. Good news is that on hot days, you've got roof-mounted blowers for air conditioning. The facilities are mirrored here at the right side as well, minus the 12-volt socket. And well, a couple of thoughtful touches. So you have this here to hold on the seat, this clip here to hold the seat belt. And this is, you see, this is nice way. Look at this. This one, there even is, grooves here that for you to fit your fingers. Basically, is when you climb in, this is for you to pull yourself in to the third row. All right, so this is a very, very thoughtful touch from Toyota. And just want to show you down here on the side step, look at this intricate patterns here as on the side step. Very, very nice. Okay, so if I were to push the seat all the way back, well, I have got plenty of leg room in front of me, but if I want to give my rear passenger a bit more space, I can slide this, wow, pretty far forward, no lah. I can go like maybe as far as this enough. It's still enough space for me to cross my legs here at the back. Here I have got, wow, 2 USB-C ports, rear dedicated, well, fan speed control, cabin light activation. Okay, you've got a panoramic roof up here, foldable armrest, and also a foldable table. Right, so there's a slot here to release, but to drop this table. So very, very good facilities here at the back. There's also a hook here. And look at this. Now, please be careful. A word of warning, don't put things here. Why? Because, well, here at Evo Club Car Wash, we've had a customer on a Toyota Alphard. Don't know what happened lah. Some, pack of food was left here, slid inside, and it made the whole car stink. Not funny. Right. Now, look at the door handle. This car has keyless entry, but look at this. Touch type keyless entry. Mahal too. So the cabin is very, very familiar cues if you are familiar with the Toyota TNGA platform. So, one thing I want to comment, very, very nice seat pattern here on the upholstery. So, large gigantic screen here. Okay, let me just start the power. Now, the instrument cluster is a mix of pure analog and a central digital screen. So I can, firstly, I can close the tailgate. All right, now the screen here, well, it came with the car, but not the most advanced screens around. Does not have trip computer functions integrated to the screen. Basically, this is a pure entertainment screen. All right, all the driving functions still need to be accessed via the instrument cluster. And this car also has adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, and all these things. So pretty complete ADAS package here. Single zone climate control. All right. Transmission is a CVT, electronic parking brake here. So it's all mounted here. But surprisingly, right, despite this angle, you know, I was half expecting like a storage compartment inside here, but there's not. So here you've got a traditional USB-A port and a USB-C port. Cup holder, nicely sized, so they've maximized all the space as a cup holder. And well, this lid opens sideways. There's a wireless charging tray here, and also a relatively deep set center console box. Right over here, another 12-volt socket, and inside there, pretty well-sized glove box. All right. So overall, the interior, well, this is pretty standard Toyota fare lah. Well built, overall quality, well built. Quality of materials, really can't complain. Oh, look at this. Wow, this is nice. This is nice. Is there another one here at the passenger side? Oh, okay. Yes, there is. But of a different design. Why didn't they, surprisingly, Toyota did not uniform the left and right cup holder? Okay, so typical of Toyota, all right, build quality is, well, it's not a plush build quality, but it's solid, all right? And unlike Honda, there is still improvements that can be made in terms of maximizing interior storage space. Typically in a Honda, you would definitely have another storage compartment inside here. Maybe because Toyota chose not to use a electronic shifter, that's why that whole space is taken up. But this one is maximized as best as they could. But still, even with this whole area utilized as storage space, right, I find that there's a limit to the number of things I can pack here inside. I can stow away here in this cabin. All right, so yeah. Okay, you've got pedal shifters here to cycle through the 10 virtual ratios of the CVT. And just to run you through some of the functions of the trip computer. So you have adaptive cruise mode. You can have trip computer display, error message display. This one goes through all the ADAS systems, right? Lane departure assist, blind spot monitoring, PCS, rear cross traffic alert, road sign assist, DRCC ceiling light, DRCC, okay, speed limit offset, acceleration settings, resetting push. All right, I think DRCC stands for the dynamic cruise control. All right, and this is the hybrid display. Back to adaptive cruise control. So still a relatively simple instrument clusters, even though it is a digital, but it's a relatively simple system. So here you can choose the driving modes, EV, full EV mode, drive mode. You have what? Normal, sport, eco. Oh, sorry, normal, power, eco. Right. So here's a quick message before I continue. It is an undeniable fact of life that many people face money problems, debt, rising costs, income not enough. So recently, I discovered an opportunity that not only solves my money problems, but also gives me the means to help regular people like you do the same. Now, this is not a Ponzi scheme or some money game or crypto trading or personal loan, but it is a way to increase your income without needing to put in more hours at work. So if you want to find out more about this opportunity, I invite you to join me in a free 90-minute webinar where you will learn to see true financial health from a new perspective and an opportunity for you to achieve just that. Now, it may be for you, it may not be for you, but take a look at it with an open mind and see the possibilities for yourself. So to find out more, follow the link in the description section or click this QR code fill up the Google form, and I look forward to seeing you. Now, back to the video. So across many parts of the developing world, the Innova has a strong reputation of being a robust and dependable people carrier. So this new generation model adds a layer of refinement to that promise, and it addresses a number of, I would say, key criticisms that were leveled against the previous model, namely that it kind of lacked a little refinement. That is something that the TNGA platform takes care of. And also, at least where our market is concerned, one of the biggest issues that I've had with the Innova was that the 2-liter petrol engine was simply too underpowered for the task, not enough torque to convincingly haul a machine of its size. Put it this way, right? I always argue that when you are with an MPV or with a large SUV, what you really want is a diesel engine, all right, or a low pressure turbo engine that gives you that mid-range torque so that you can chuck along at low to mid-engine speeds without the car feeling strained, right? That is something that, you know, with the petrol engine, though, with the 2-liter petrol engine of the old Innova, let's say if you go up a slope for something, you have to really rev the engine in order to get enough oomph to pull it up a slope, right? So with the hybrid powertrain here, that concern is addressed. The assistance from the electric motor, even though it's still paired with a 2-liter NA engine, it helps make progress a lot more effortless. But that being said, on occasions where you need to gun it, the petrol engine still feels a little rough when revved hard. That's one. But the flip side of it is that the hybrid powertrain here, it makes navigating urban stop and go traffic much more pleasant. So like, for example, this morning I used this car to send my daughter to school. The driving experience is so smooth, so refined. In fact, my kids love this car. All right, of all the test cars that I've brought home in my career as a car reviewer, this is the one that seemed to have excited my kids the most. Maybe it's the captain's chairs at the back, but the thing is that on a school run where, you know, there's heavy traffic, a lot of stop and go, the electric motor coming in to make takeoff that bit more effortless, it makes a difference in the driving experience. Now, usually, right, for cars like this, for vehicles like this, I'm hesitant to recommend going the hybrid route, and I still have my reservations. But here in the Innova, from my experience, the hybrid engine here, it contributes to a more pleasant driving experience. I'm not sure about the long-term ownership prospect, but then again, if you can ask all the many Prius and Camry hybrid owners, none of them have too much complaints with regards to Toyota's hybrid powertrain setup. So for chances are, with the Innova here, you're looking at pretty much a relatively problem-free hybrid motoring experience. All right, so but the thing is, I mean, if you still have that bit of conservation, Toyota is still offering the 2-liter petrol engine option. I just wonder, why don't they offer something like, you know, a 2.5 or a diesel engine, because that makes so much more sense, right? And I heard before the argument with the previous Innova that when they put the diesel engine from the Hilux or the Fortuner in there, it makes the vehicle too expensive. But now with The Innova Zenix here already pushing 200 grand. I don't see how a diesel engine would make this package significantly more expensive than it already is, right? Now, the other area where it comes to the Innova is, of course, the handling, where in the previous model, it's based on a ladder frame, a pickup chassis, right? So not very dynamic. But now here, with the TNGA platform, admittedly with a torsion beam rear suspension, the driving experience is a lot more car-like, a lot more refined. And what surprised me was that, when I took some of the curving roads, the body movement is managed with this is a chassis that actually flows with you along the bend, so that is a very, very pleasant surprise. Now, of course, you're not going to race this thing around like a sports car, but see, the thing is, the benefit of steady handling in an SUV, in an MPV, in a family vehicle, it's not for you to thrash it around Genting, but rather so that when you drive your kids around, you know that you are behind the wheel of a vehicle that is always safe and in control, right? That when you see that bend coming up, you know that, okay, right, you can take that bend smoothly without disturbing the peace in the cabin, and that's the most important thing. Now, the other topic I want to touch about is the adaptive cruise control feature here in the Innova Zenix Hybrid. So I've been using that in traffic jam conditions like what I'm experiencing here on Federal Highway. And I've said this before, right? When it comes to driving on, I used to be very skeptical about ACC and all these things, but in the context of daily driving, in the context of going on from point A to point B, just to get your chores done, right? Where you are not really, we are not talking about a Sunday drive here. ACC makes absolute sense because it significantly reduces your mental fatigue, right? So that, your stress levels lowers significantly. You don't have to worry about the car in front slowing down or speeding up. You just let your car handle the acceleration and deceleration. You just control the steering. But do bear in mind and do be very careful that I notice when it comes to cars cutting in, right, cutting queue, for example, the ACC recognition of that is hit and miss. So there were a few times that I must have been within inches of a fender bender. So yeah, I mean, on steady traffic jams, the ACC is great help, but you want to keep your eyes open when situations, where other drivers can potentially cut your queue, like queuing up at a toll gate, for example, or queuing up at a highway exit. That can happen. But you see, like right now on Federal Highway, I'm caught behind a slow-moving truck, right? And I'm talking to you. The driving experience is distinctly a lot more stress-free compared to if I were to be in full control of the car. All right, so I would say that in conclusion, the Innova Zenix at 200,000 ringgit or 160,000 ringgit for the base petrol model, price-wise, it's a big jump from the old Innova, all right? And well, in the current trend of inflation, that's something that that we can't help, all right? But that being said, this is a significantly more expensive vehicle to build compared to the old Innova, right? Full monocoque chassis, TNGA platform, much more sophisticated features, a newer generation engine. All these things add up to the cost. And now, of course, with the hybrid powertrain here, You know, with hybrid technology, there's a higher cost factor to it. So you could say that the Innova Zenix here is a totally different breed of MPV compared to the Innova that we are familiar with. And that is perhaps the two reasons why Toyota is still selling the old Innova, because number one, they still want to have a presence in the price point of the old Innova. And second thing, if you want something to use purely as a workhorse, and I'm talking about the taxi drivers, the school transporters, or maybe people who buy these cars for company use, they don't need a more sophisticated package like the Innova Zenix here. The old Innova fits their needs perfectly, but the Innova Zenix here, with its added level of refinement, makes for a much more pleasant family car compared to the previous model. All right, so do let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, or if you have bought the Innova Zenix and you'd like to share your experience with other viewers, I would be especially interested to hear from you also down in the comment section below. All right, so that's it from me today. Until my next video, take care, stay safe. I'll see you soon.